are happy with a 90% or more hatch rate. The small, non-commercial, or homemade incubators, the hatch rate could be anywhere from 0% to that elusive 90%. There are so many factors involved in a hatch that it's hard to tell what caused the success or failure without knowing the exact circumstances.
Factors of a successful hatch. Eggs fertilized. Eggs no older than 10 days. Eggs not washed or contaminated. Incubator temperature constant. Incubator humidity constant. Air in the incubator circulated and oxygenated. And eggs turned regularly.
Without the right conditions, you might have hatchability problems like eggs hatching early, hatching late, blood rings, dead embryos, or chicks starting to peck their way out and die.
On the 21st day, your chicks should hatch. At first, they will be wet and tired, and you may even think that they will die. This is because the hatching process took many hours of hard work. Wait about 6 hours, and your new chicks will then be dry and fluffy. If you don't choose to hatch your chicks from an egg, you can source them from local hatcheries. They come in a box like this one and range $1 to $3 per chick. We typically leave them in their transport box for the first day or two in order to minimize stress caused by movement and jostling. Then they are ready for their new home.
They need a special place to live that protects them from all animals in all conditions. Like this. This is called a brooder.
There are many options that can be used as a brooder or shelter for your chicks. A large box, an old water tank, an old chicken coop, or something more sturdy like the brooder that we have here. This brooder allows air to flow over the chicks without a draft. Can be easily opened to feed, tend, and water the chicks. And my personal favorite is that it keeps out predators. I once came out to my dog standing on top of this brooder. I was glad to have her sturdy brooder that day.
Temperature is very important. It should be 95 degrees in the chick's box at ground level. You can initially measure the temperature with a simple thermometer placed in the pen. You will need to decrease the temperature by about 5 degrees each week as the chicks age and grow feathers. We use a heat lamp like this that can be purchased at your local farm store. If your brooder is housed in your barn or garage where there are large shifts in temperature, you will want to closely monitor the temperature at chick level and adjust your heat lamp accordingly. This is done by simply moving it up or down. Be careful not to get your feed or water containers, or anything flammable for that matter, too close to your heat lamps. They can melt.
If you aren't trusting your thermometer, you can always watch the chicks' behavior. Chicks will pile up when they're too cold or spread out over the cool area of the brooder when they're too warm.
Food for the chick embryo was the yolk while they were still in the shell. Before they hatched, they took this leftover egg yolk into their bodies. This will provide them with food for 3 to 5 days after they hatch. Soon after they hatch, you will not have to feed them. However, they will still like to drink. You can provide them with sugar water or an electrolytes.
We use a simple plastic water container like this one that can also be purchased from your local farm store. You will need to increase the size of the feeders and waterers as the chicks age and grow. Chicks should be fed a food for baby poultry. This feed is made from corn, grain, soybeans, and protein from animal products. Water should be provided for your chicks at all times. Soon after they hatch and dry off, you can teach them to drink by gently placing their beaks in the water like this.
Litter like straw or sawdust should be placed in the bottom of your chick's container to soak up the chick's spilled water and waste. Unless your brooder or chicken housing is made like ours, where the bottom is made of hardware cloth just like the top, so the holes allow the droppings to just fall through.
When your chickens are covered with feathers and starting to crowd, they may be moved to their next home. Chickens can be held upright as long as you hold their wings down, or held upside down by holding firmly to their legs. Personally, I like to hold my chickens like this, with the vent pointed away for sanitary reasons, and the head secured under my arm.
I prefer to hold my chickens like this as it keeps them from moving while not hurting them.
I prefer to hold my chickens like this because it keeps their wings from flapping.
Weather and temperature remain a key factor throughout our entire process. We like to raise our chicks from late spring to early fall, so it doesn't make our project difficult in managing temperatures with heat lamps.
Chicken tractors or movable housing makes a great next step. The chicken tractor allows the chickens to scratch and forage the grass while fertilizing your lawn. The tractor supplies shade on one side and light on the other. You want to move regularly so the chicks don't eat the grass down to dirt. It can easily be moved by hand or if built larger by a garden tractor or an all-terrain vehicle.
You can fill a water pan with a hose or a bucket. A feeder can hang from the center or sit on the ground. We recommend working with your local feed mill or farm store to obtain your feed. The percent of protein in the chick's feed will decrease as they grow. The initial feed is called chick starter and is fed for about 2 weeks. The next feed stage is called starter grower, and they are fed that for the next 4 weeks. At this point, your chicks are then switched to a grower finisher feed that they will eat until they reach their market weight of 10 to 12 pounds. If you're growing laying hens though, you'll feed the starter and the starter grower, but for a longer period of time, and then switch to a layer feed that has a higher percentage of calcium to strengthen their eggshell. On my farm, laying hens are free-ranged. This allows them to forage for organic matter, as well as inorganic natural matter. The difficulty of free-ranging is finding the eggs. Training your laying hens to use their coop and find their nesting boxes becomes imperative. This would then be one example of nesting boxes inside a coop. If you choose to keep your laying hens inside a coop though, you'll need to provide them with another source of calcium, such as oyster shells, to strengthen that eggshell.
At about 10 weeks old, your meat birds are off to the butcher with processing costs around $3 per bird. Americans consume more chicken than anywhere else in the world, more than 92 pounds per capita in 2017. And chicken is the #1 source of protein in the United States. The top 5 broiler producing states are Georgia, Arkansas, Alabama, North Carolina, and Mississippi.
On the other hand, the top 5 egg-producing states are Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, and coming in 6th place is our home state of Michigan.
At this point, your laying hens can be moved to permanent housing with nesting boxes.
And in about 26 weeks, but as early as 20 weeks, they will start producing eggs of their own.
With that, we have explained the chicken process from chicken to chicken.
You mean egg to egg?
Actually, we have egg-splained. How to source eggs,
How to set up and operate an incubator and how to candle eggs.
And how to care for your eggs, chicks, and chickens.
Timekeeper, this concludes our presentation.
Our reference